All right, ladies and gents. I know it's been a while since we've talked, and I know we still have not talked. It's just me talking at you at this point. This is a sticky situation. I've never been in a position where I couldn't have dynamic access to my students and actually be there with you to help you guys learn. So some things are going to change, but not much will. Okay, but I'm going to appeal to you guys to always follow the integrity. Most of you guys who are in this class because you're going to Math 1800 after this. And if you're doing that, this is the worst part of the class to not know, because this is all the stuff that's needed from chapter 8.1 all the way on to forever. Okay, so I'm going to tell you to follow through with this. You will have resources I know that you have available, and I don't know if there's any way to quarantine them, and I don't really care to do, because I feel like you're going to do the right thing, what you need to do. And if you want to be successful in 1800, you'll learn the concepts. Don't chase the grade, chase the understanding. All right, there's more than enough things out there you guys can do to get an answer. The question really it comes down to is, do you understand stuff? All right, so I have a few notes here, so I'm going to be looking down from the camera just so I go online, and then I'm going to make sure we split and go take a tour of the online course, because I want to make sure you guys are good. All right, so here we go. So few things that I want to make sure that we understand. Let's go over the syllabus real quick. I do not know how grades are going to change, and this is what I mean by this is I'm going to deal with it all at the end of the semester once scores are in, and that's because we changed the way we're testing you. I haven't decided if the right thing to do is say, well, the first piece of class is one grade, second piece of class online is another grade, and average the two in, or whether or not to change the proportions of what grades are worth because we're doing things differently. I'm not totally for sure yet, and that's been passed on actually to the people onto higher up courses. But what I will tell you is, like always, I will always continuously advocate for you and make sure the right thing is done. So it's not right. So if you did, like, for example, if you didn't do well on test 1, it doesn't make sense to say tests are worth more now, because now your test 1 grade is heavier. So those are the things I worry about by changing schematics. So as of right now, nothing has changed. The weighting is the same. The only thing that's going to change is how we're going to operate. But we'll talk about what you guys will need to do when I give you a tour of what Canvas looks like. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, again, there are no exceptions to anything at this point, right? There are due dates unless I know ahead of time something is happening. And since you guys can always access me at the drop of a dime, communication is key. All right, text messages are no longer valid. We need to send emails, unless y'all just want to text me just because you're working on a problem and that kind of stuff, right? But official stuff, please send me an official email, because then it'll be able for me to support you guys in a different kind of way. If I need to access other people at the university, that can get them moving. Okay, so I know it's really sticky to communicate like this, but let's keep everything to email. That'll make things life a heck of a lot easier. Okay, so office hours, I don't know. I just do not know, because your guys' schedules are weird, all right? And what I mean by weird, that all of our schedules are weird. Like me coming home, I don't even know what time I'm at work at anymore. I feel like I'm working really early in the morning and really late in the evening. And during the day, I have to get stuff done for the baby that's coming and all this other stuff. So I don't know what your guys' schedules are like, especially since we have all these different things. You know, you might have to babysit now because your little brother's off from school. I don't know what your family obligations are. So the way I'm kind of operating with this is that everything will have due dates, and you got to figure out when to fit it in. The due dates will not be right on time. You'll have a good 48 hours to a week hours notice. And then I'm currently you're gonna see the course. I've unlocked everything for the rest of the course for the rest of the semester. Okay, so things will be here, and all you have to do is look at the dates. So the dates are the dates. There are no exceptions to them. So please make sure we're good on that, okay? Office hours, I don't know. But what I'm thinking is that I will have office hours via using the link called Conferences in Canvas. And what that will allow me to do is allow me to give you a real-time access to office hours. So what I'm going to tell you, instead of doing office hours like that and just saying come to them, I'm going to find some way to give you guys access and give you guys a demo. So we're going to figure out an arranged meeting time that I can get the majority, and we're going to use conferences in Canvas for these meeting times. And I'll send instructions when we're having one. We can call it office hours. And what that time is for you guys to come in and ask your questions. And you can use your microphones if your computers have them, or you can just type it into a text bar. So it gives you, but you'll always be able to see me because I have the technology, and I have a writing tablet, so communication should be relatively clear. Now, here's something that is cool about office hours. You could send me an email with all the questions that you wanted to look at, And if I got it ahead of time in enough time, and the agreed upon office hours time, I'm thinking is going to be 5 to 6 p.m. Monday and Wednesday. 5 to 6 p.m. Monday and Wednesday. This will allow me to go in and to answer those questions. And let's say you can't even make it to those office hours. I could answer those questions in office hours. And because the session is being recorded, once that conference gets uploaded, then you can see all the questions that people ask. I'll even tell you where your questions are. And normally I'll take questions in the back of office hours of that 1 hour time, okay? So just be conscious of that, office hours can be reached now in multiple ways. Now, granted, you won't be there to ask questions, but it'll present something that you can actually get access to. So that's number 2, okay? Number 2, or is that 3? So we did grades, we did the dates that are the dates, the due dates that's an important thing, and office hours, okay? Grade book, okay? Use grade books to know what your grades are. You're not going to have a program coordinator any longer that's readily in your face, like Andrew, who would tell you your grades, right? He'll send you emails and whatnot, but that's still a communication that's going out, and you need to check your emails regularly, but I don't know what regularly is in the state because we're normally talking all day long. So you need to be on top of it, is the moral of the story. But to make things easier, we're going to put all grades in gradebook, including journal grades, and they'll reflect either the actual grades of the assignments you've got, so you'll notice everything in class, that nothing will change in the way your grade books look. It's just you're going to have to access grades through gradebook to see what's there. And I'll do a demo of that too when we go through and walk through the course. Okay. Next, finally, we have hand-in homeworks. Okay, so hand-in homeworks are going to be handled specifically because you guys have different kind of assignments that are due. Okay, that is your hand-in homeworks, your quizzes, tests, final exams. Okay, so the ones we basically check and give back to you. So like, how are you guys going to do this? Well, for hand-in homeworks, really simple. There'll be the PDF version of the stuff that's there like normal. And what you're going to do now, instead of there being nowhere for you to submit stuff, you'll be able to take a picture of your work and submit it. And the only file type I'm allowing is PDF, not JPEG or picture or none of that, because we're still have to read this. And because we're trying to make sure our UA squad still has contact with you, Ryan and Coletta, we are going to try our hardest to make sure they are still able to see what your guys' work on and being assistants to you. So Coletta and Ryan will be checking your stuff in Canvas. So you'll upload these PDF files to Canvas. So some of you are probably saying, well, how do I get a PDF into Canvas when all I have is my phone to use as my technology? Because I don't have my computer for some reason. Okay? Well, you could there's a lot of picture to PDF scanners online in your app store. Download one of them and I'll let you use it. If you have the Samsung devices like I do, if you take a picture with Samsung, it says, do you want to convert it to a PDF automatically? So I don't know which versions you have. You're going to have to find that PDF software, a PDF picture scanner software to actually do something with. Okay, so that's how you're going to submit everything online. So hand-in homeworks, you'll submit the PDF, right? For quizzes, tests, and final exam, all of them will be through Pearson. Okay, Pearson. I know this is a gigantic change because you're like, well, what do you mean you'll have it on Pearson? It's going to be the same. I wanted to put you into a online system that you already had exposure to, that you knew how it worked. Pearson's the best thing we have. Okay, now, because Pearson's not perfect, okay, and it will be scoring things immediately and it's not going to assign partial credit, let's say you do get something wrong, then how am I to know what you're going to get partial credit on, okay? Because there will be 2 links where you take your quizzes at. There will be the quiz link, and then there will be another quiz thing that says quiz blank or test blank or final exam blank, and then it says work. Well, that's where you're going to submit your work. Again, another PDF file. And then I'll take a look at that and what Pearson says your score is. Your quiz or test will not be graded if I do not have both. So I need to have both. If all you did was the online one, then I don't have all the information to assign grades, because you don't get credit in a math class for your correct answers. You get credit for the work. The correct answers just guide us into assigning a score initially, and it provides a system for us to communicate with. That's really what it's for. The work still reigns supreme, so please make sure it's accurate. And just a tidbit, guys, I'm expecting you guys to be academically honest at this point, and I'm not going to assume negative of anybody, but just know you're hurting yourself if you do this. And there are things that that we do have via Canvas that allow us to see what you're looking at. So guys, I'm going to tell you, try to stay away from these apps that'll brainwash yourself, like calculators, math app, photo math, mathway, or any Wolfram Alpha, any other things that you guys are using out there. Okay guys, try to learn information, and I'm here, so access me if you need me. Okay, so that's quizzes, tests, and finals. You'll take all of them on Pearson, and then once you take them on Pearson, you'll go on Canvas and upload your work. But it'll all be there on Canvas, so all you have to do is look at the dates for the modules. Okay guys, so I think those are all the big things that I needed to mention. Okay, and then you should be ready to rock and roll. Again, 5 to 6 p.m. is what I have here, Monday, Wednesday for office hours, and this will go effective tomorrow, which is Monday the 23rd. Okay, so come to conferences, even if it's just to hang out and see what it's like. Okay, you'll do this in workshop on Monday as well with Andrew or with Sam. And guys, just be very generous, because we're still trying to figure it out too. So we have a system, we have a plan. The question is whether or not it'll be good once you guys all jump on. So here's another thing. The reason why, okay, and this is my last thing before we go take a look at the course. The course now is going to be formatted with video lectures, okay? I did all the recording myself. I'm very techie. This is kind of my other side thing, okay? But they're not perfect because the quality can't be as high because of Canvas's loading, okay? If too many people are on Canvas at the same time, it could kick you out, okay? So if you are getting low processing speeds and all this other stuff, just try a different time, all right? Try a different time. That's the best I can get you, okay? Now, sometimes you might just have to deal with it too, because you're cutting close to the due date. And that's why you want to start working on things as soon as possible to accommodate all the other last-minute people. I can almost guarantee you, if you're close to the same due date, you're going to have a lot of people who have that same due date conflicting with you, and now the time you thought you had to get a timed assignment done is no longer that time because it's processing slower. So keep that in effect. So each quiz and each test, and the final exam all have time constraints, and you'll have a set amount of time with extra to input answers. Okay, so it's been partialed in there. So, for example, if we say you're going to have 25 minutes, that's including everything, including putting the answers in. So be conscious of your time, conscious of your time, because that time is wrangled into your normal quiz. Okay. That's that. All right. So make sure you do this, especially when you're doing your things online. Now you will only have one attempt to do your assessments. Okay, one attempt. But when you get to start them, there will be a window of when it needs to be completed in. Try to figure out a time that works well for you. That processes like me, because I don't want to do anything when anyone else is up. I've been working from midnight to 6 a.m. and that's been working for me. Okay, the internet's fast still, and everyone else is still working well, so I can get all my work done. And during the day, I have to sleep, right, to some extent, and I can get other things done. So this is the way I'm running my schedule, and this is what's worked. Okay, find what works for you. All right. So without further ado, let's take a look at the course. Alright guys, so here we are, here's your course. If you take a look at it, and I'm going to click through some things here, but if you guys have any questions, by all means send me an email, but I'm trying to get through as much of it as possible. So here we go. Your canvas will look different comparing to whatever your just to see a little bit. There you go. Whatever your courses are, click on your course. In this case, you guys are section 8 or section 6, depending on whether or not you have Sam or Andrew. Okay, and I'm going to go and I'm going to show you how to access things. I'm going to do this with just one module so you get it, all right? So you guys are used to the weekly thing. So now your weeks are not going to start until after week 10, which unfortunately was a 2-week system for you guys. Your study break was ridiculous, all right? So now that we're all at home, here we go. We're starting on week 12. The dates are still located where they're located, all right? I'm always going to have an announcement for you, and these announcements, you will not, tip number 1, you will not be able to access any part of this module unless you look at the announcement first. Because if I have changes or I have things I need to emphasize, this is going to be how I communicate with you, and I don't want to just dump it on you all at once, because what if you're behind or ahead of me? I need to make sure you guys see it, all right? So this will be here in the module so you guys get it, all right? All of your lectures are here. Okay, so for this week, by the end of the week, and I tried to split it up according to days, according to topics, and just completeness, so it's well-rounded, all right? So it's not like an idea in transition before you get to the next one. But they're all here. So watch the dates. So it says March 23rd, March 24th, so do the lecture on March 23rd. And they're set up in this order, so I want you to follow in this order. Next thing you want to do you have any homework to do then? Yes, you do. This should come first. Okay, so that will be the homework that you would do. We covered it before break. Now, don't forget, coming back this week, you're going to have an exam, all right? You're going to have an exam, and where are you going to get that, all right? Well, after you do your homework, that's due, so you have a hand in homework due that day. So you'll go, when you click on this, let me just show you real quick. When you click on this, if it comes up, all right, you'll see the PDFs for your hand in, except now, it says you could submit a file type of PDF, right? And it's still same things as what homework is worth. So you'll submit your PDF file here, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, very simple. Remember, you're going to need your phone or something else to take a picture of your work, or go buy a scanner, which I don't recommend, because who wants a scanner? We're going paperless these days for stuff. So scan your work, turn it into a PDF, upload it there. Okay, that simple. Now, if you don't have a PC to do this, working from your phone is pretty cool, because the Canvas student PC app, right, on your phones will upload it to Canvas right from there. So if you have a phone scanner to picture thing, then you got your interface to use. So something to think about. And I think most of you can use your phone, like the student app is very, very useful, like more so than PCs. Like the apps run much smoother. The only thing you can't do is you can't I don't know if it'll allow you to upload quizzes or test stuff. I'm not for sure. Okay. So anyhow, so you do your homework, part 2, done. Right. Then there's the test review material. You should be looking at this test quiz review material all week. Why? Because you have an assessment at the end of the week. You got to know what's on there. So pull that up first, take a look at it, same stuff you did in class. The exam review, get on top of it, because that's what you're going to have to look forward to on Friday. Nothing has changed, all right? So you're going to have an exam this week, okay? Now, note for the journals, I don't know if Andrew or Sam, how they're going to do their thing, but if they're going to locate it here or it'll be somewhere else, I'm going to let them deliver the message of how to submit your journal entries and where to join things, okay? So I'm going to let them deal with that. Test 3, okay? So if you notice, there's the 5th part, which will tell you about a quiz or a test. So there's basically a giant honey to-do list, right? So the test is on the 27th. Note I have a practice quiz that needs to be done here. Why? It's going to show you how the testing thing works for Pearson. It is not advisable to not do this. As a matter of fact, it is due, okay? If you don't do it, you won't be able to access test 3, and I want you to be able to do that. So you're going to click on this link, and it should be forwarded to a Pearson resource where you could take the quiz there, okay? Now, if the link doesn't work, there are instructions there where you can access it, okay? Now, test 3. You're going to go there, you go take your test on Pearson, boom, you hit submit. It gives you whatever generated score is going to give you. I can only allocate partial credit if I have your work. So you're going to do the same thing you did for homework, which is go to test 3 work, and you're going to notice it has nothing here, should be nothing here. No content, right? The content will give instructions here about test 3, just to reiterate the process in uploading the file. But notice it requires a PDF format. So you're going to scan your handwritten work, and upload it to the to Canvas. Okay, so that's all there is to it. This will be available to you as the weeks go on for the rest of the course. So it's something that you can take access to. Okay, now here's something I will tell you. Okay, is that I'm going to unlock these probably 1 week at a time, maybe 2 weeks at a time, because I don't know what your schedules are, because I want you guys to get through it. We only have 3 weeks left in the course until we're into final exam week, and at that point I will have office hours all the time online, but the learning is primarily on you guys at that point in time. So let's try to make effective use of the time that we have together. So okay, so this is how we'll operate in every module. Okay, so you'll have either your the things that are to do. My advice to you, if you click on calendars, which is right here, mine's going to be a blob, but because we set due dates on almost everything with the exceptions or test and quiz review material, which you should be looking at all the time, you should be able to look at, let's say, Monday, the 20 whatever, and know what you got to do on that day from all of your classes. And note, they will be bigger now because everybody's probably assigning you things on Canvas. So, but it does help you organize some stuff if you use calendars. But I am always going to be an advocate for this class, because my calendar is involved, to just go to the module and then look at the dates, do what you need to do, maybe do a couple days if you got time to do it, right? I know I don't have much to do except for working on the house and getting ready for the baby. So all I've been doing is that and working on content. So make good use of your time is what I'm saying. You know, it's rare that we have an opportunity to slow down like this. All right, so this is basically everything. Let's talk about office hours now. Where will office hours be held, okay? So I will send you regular announcements, and maybe we'll go to student view so you can see how you're going to see this stuff. Okay, so it didn't go to student view. What happened? I broke it. All right, let's try this one. Oh, I clicked too many buttons. So there is a little bit of a lag going on right now, guys. Let's go to student view, leave this. Sorry, random talking time. I've decided I'm going to wear a new hat in every announcement I give you guys, and then if you answer my question correctly in the way that I'm asking you, there may be credit involved. Now I know all of that is vague, but it is it's good. It'll be a fun little game. You know, it gets us going still since we don't have the in-class stuff to interact with. All right, so this is what you'll see when you get into class, right? And all the content. I want to talk about this. So announcements, I'll still send you announcements, okay? A lot of this stuff will not be here, okay? I'm going to clean this up a bit, but I will talk about the things that will be here. Announcements is how I generally will, when I send a blast out to the class, they'll be logged here so you can access that. Assignments, you will not be able to access that at all. Don't even worry about it. You're to operate out of modules. That's how you're going to do things. My Lab and Mastering Pearson, you're going to have to definitely go here to access your book should you need to access things like you've been doing all semester. Discussions. It is something that we may or may not use. If we use it, I'll let you know when we use it, but until that time, it will not be accessible in the course, okay? Grade book. This is something we're going to go over. The syllabus is in is what this video is, so please make sure you have a syllabus video you can look at. That's important. Quizzes, you won't have to access that. Modules, you will be able to access, right? And then conferences is a big one because this is how we're going to do office hours, all right? So let's go through and see this. I've unlocked conferences. Conferences allows me to start a conference with the class. You cannot access a conference if that's had, and I can't do it in student view. But this is how we're going to do office hours, is by that button. So just click that button, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, conferences are way better if you have a microphone and a webcam. Okay, so you'll be able to do the same things I'm doing. But if not, no worries. No need to go buy one unless you want to. You come with you, and you can type in the chat. You can cut and paste things. I could throw you the screen share, and then you can like show me what problem you're looking at, and then we can talk about it. It'll be real cool, trust me. Okay, I've been doing it for my online class for the entire semester. It's really good. All right, modules. This is where you're going to access all your modules at. That's important. But the thing I want to talk about is your grade book. Okay, so right now it is not up to date. Why? Because I need to transfer a lot of the stuff that's on paper to you, because again, like I said in the first half, the program coordinators will not be able to get to you. So right now, this is what your grade book looks like, okay? I'm going to try to get it so workshops and everything else is on here, and so all these things are logged in, and you can actually see your finalized totals here, okay? So this is how it's going to work out. So the grade book will be the way you do it. And here's something that's cool. The reason why there's no grades for this is because this is a test student, right? Not you guys. So whatever grades you guys have will be logged here. It'll show you the weighted percentages and how that works. And then it'll calculate your total grade. Right now I have 100% because it's out of 100%. But I've done nothing, so I don't know. I don't get any scores, basically. Calculate based on graded assignments, okay? So if you click that. Now, I have nothing graded, so if it's ungraded, you can see everything too. Okay, so this is where you need to come to understand stuff, and there's a way of you filtering it too. I don't know. Oh, arrange by due date. You can arrange by module, which is really nice. And if you arrange by module, don't have a brain meltdown. World. I don't know if it did it. Yeah, but it doesn't cross filter things. Too bad it couldn't do that. By title, do they assignment group? Yes, assignment group is what you want, because then you can do things by test, homework, and quizzes. So here's all your homework assignments. It'd be nice if they put them into files, but they don't. Here's all your quiz grades, right? And then your homework zeros. All right, for the ones you haven't done in. So let's talk about those standards, right? The ones that were policies. Clearly, I can't have no way of doing attendance. and because nothing is dynamic or real time. Okay, everything is you watching it. So that's pretty much void at this point. All right, unless you went over before we went out the break. So whatever your status was before this COVID stuff happened is your status still. Okay, so if you were over on homework, we have conversations that we were in the middle of. We still need to have those conversations. No one's off the hook. All right, so that's the only caveat. So online is going to be here to list how many, not zeros, but online average, right? And remember, this is all about controlled failure. As long as you're trying every problem and learning stuff, that's all I care about, right? And then hand in zeros, obviously that's pretty black and white. It's based on whether or not you did the assignment or not. They are graded out of zero, check plus, check minus. Instead, the grades will be 0, 1, 2, 3. That way 1 is like a check minus, 2 is like a check, and then 3 would be a check plus. Quizzes are still out of 10. Final will still be out of whatever it's out of, and then tests are out of 100, and they still are weighted the same thing. All right, so all those have not changed. And granted, because of the whole way this is looking, I'm going to try to be as understanding as possible. But note, the semester is not extended. It still ends at the same time. The way I'm being told from my higher-ups is that we should just look at this as the adjusted way of life from now on until we hear of otherwise from the government. So that's a really vague statement and a really big statement. So you take that for what it is. So get used to working online. That's what I'm telling you. Okay? But this is the entire course. Look at the grade books. If you have any questions about anything, you can access me via email. Use my Wayne State email. Better yet, use Canvas, since we're going to be in Canvas a whole lot. You can go to Canvas inbox and then send a message to me that way. And then it gives me a way to actually look at everything that is going on with you, and then I can search by class to actually help you better, okay, and keep things going, all right? If you have any questions, send me an email through Canvas. You can also send me an email to Outlook. Outlook is my Wayne email, which is resh@wayne.edu. And then from there, we're ready to rock and roll, and we can get things up and going. All right, so we'll have a firm line of communication. You can also text me too, but if it's something official, send it to me through Canvas. For all my people who are having conversations about they had constraints about things that were coming up, we just need to rehab those conversations. Those are not off the hook because everything's different. Okay, I'm pretty sure because we don't have in-class meetings anymore. A lot of those constraints are not going to be a problem for you guys. But we still need to rehab those. Okay, send me an email if you're going out of town or there's something going on. Let me know that that's not happening or that is still happening. All right, so that's big. If you got any questions, please let me know. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'll be in contact via the next video, which happens at the beginning of the module. All right, guys. Happy hunting, but this is going to be a fun time, and if you have any questions, let me know. All right. Adios, Valken Dios. And, like they say in every math class, until tomorrow.